can do this together.
He can never be my son.
It was 2:30 a.m. when I heard the doors of the emergency room swing open. The sound of frantic, desperate footsteps echoed down the hospital hallway. A man was shouting for help, his voice rising in panic as he carried a young girl in his arms. I'd heard that voice before, but it had been years. As the man rushed toward the ER, I turned to look. My heart stopped. It was him. Earl, the same man who tore my heart into pieces all those years ago, the same man who rejected his own child because he wasn't perfect, the man who walked on me and our son. He didn't see me at first, his attention solely focused on his daughter's condition, but when he turned to the side, our eyes locked. It took a second for recognition to dawn on him. His face froze, then softened into that smug smile I remembered too well, a smile that always masked cruelty. But what Earl didn't know was that the person who was about to save his daughter's life wasn't a stranger or a doctor. It was the son he abandoned, the son he rejected because of his genetics, who would become the very person standing between his daughter and death. Before I dive into the story, I want to know something. What time is it where you're watching this video? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We've got new real-life stories every week, and this one is something you won't want to miss. I first met Earl when I was 26 years old. I had just landed a steady job at a law firm in Atlanta, and Earl, fresh from the streets of New York, was a charming, ambitious man. His smooth talk and big promises about fancy cars, extravagant dinners, and lavish vacations seemed like the escape from my humble beginnings that I'd always dreamed of. Within 6 months, we were married. The wedding was beautiful. I wore a long white dress, my hair done up just like in the magazines, and we had a grand reception with more than 200 people. I remember that day like it was yesterday. The photos captured the joy and love in my eyes, and I truly believed I had found my forever. At first, everything seemed perfect. Earl worked long hours and I stayed home to care for our new house. But as the months passed, the cracks in our marriage began to show. I thought I could handle it, but when I found out I was pregnant, everything changed. The doctors confirmed that our baby might be born with Down syndrome. I was terrified, but I was ready to face whatever came our way. But Earl? He was furious. The man I thought I knew turned into a stranger right before my eyes. "It's not my fault," Earl said. "I don't want a defective child." Those words still echo in my mind. I thought that maybe he was in shock, that maybe he would come around, but instead he began to distance himself, drinking more and showing less care. I had no idea how I was supposed to raise our son alone. The birth of our son, Malik, was just the beginning of the heartbreak. After Malik was born, I had to make a decision. Earl walked out of the hospital the day after, leaving me with nothing but my son and my determination. He hadn't even looked at Malik when they placed him in my arms. He was perfect, small but perfect, yet to Earl he was a burden. I raised Malik on my own. I worked 3 jobs to support us. I sold everything I could find just to make sure Malik had what he needed. His medical bills were expensive, and therapy for children with Down syndrome doesn't come cheap. I pushed myself beyond exhaustion. I cried when no one was watching. I went to bed late and woke up early. I kept it together for Malik. And Malik, he grew stronger every day. Despite everything, he was the happiest child. He smiled, laughed, and looked at the world with so much curiosity. But every milestone, his first word, his first step, was met with ridicule from people who didn't understand. They said I was wasting my time, that Malik would never amount to anything. But I knew better. I knew my son had something that no one could take from him: heart. He might have been different, but in my eyes, he was perfect. By the time Malik was 5 years old, his pediatrician was amazed at how well he was developing. He was speaking in full sentences, answering questions, and even memorizing small poems. The school system, however, wasn't as kind. They told me Malik would never fit in with the other kids. They offered me little hope, but I didn't accept it. I hired private tutors, enrolled him in therapy, and kept him in a special needs program where the teachers were patient, loving, and kind. Malik thrived, and slowly, very slowly, I started to believe in the impossible. My son had a future. It had been years since I saw Earl, but there he was, standing in the same hospital I'd been to countless times for Malik's appointments. He was holding a young girl, no older than 12, in his arms. She was pale and feverish, her breathing labored. When he saw me sitting there, he didn't seem surprised. Maybe he thought he was better than me. He had married again, built another life, but nothing could have prepared him for what was about to happen. "Bernice," Earl sneered, his eyes scanning me from head to toe. "What a surprise seeing you here, still cleaning up after people?" I didn't flinch. I looked up from my magazine, unfazed. "I'm just waiting for someone." "Waiting for that defective son of yours. Is he still alive, or did nature finally do the job?" He laughed bitterly. His words cut through the waiting room, but this time I wasn't going to let him see me hurt. I was stronger now, and Malik had made me stronger. I stood up, folded my magazine, and looked him in the eye. "No, Earl," I said with a calmness I didn't know I had. "Actually, Malik is doing better than ever. He works here now." He didn't even know how to react. "What? What is he doing here?" Earl scoffed. "That's Malik Vance," I said. "He's a pediatric surgeon. He's saved lives, many more than you ever did." At that moment, Malik stepped into the ER, walking confidently in his white coat. His face was calm, professional, and as soon as he saw me, he smiled and walked over. The young girl Earl had brought into the hospital was whisked away by the medical staff, but Earl's eyes never left Malik. "Hey, Ma," Malik said, his voice steady and warm. Then he looked at Earl, his gaze cold and indifferent. "Can I help you, sir?" Earl didn't know how to respond. "You're my son?" Malik didn't even flinch. "No, sir, I'm Dr. Malik Vance. I'm not your son. I was never your son. You left me when I was a baby, rejected me, and now you're trying to claim me as if you matter. You don't." With that, Malik walked away, leaving Earl standing there, silent, defeated. Years passed. Malik continued his education, earning his degree in pediatric surgery and specializing in rare conditions. The young girl Earl had brought into the hospital was treated for her medical condition and recovered, thanks to Malik's expertise. As for Earl, he faded into the background of our lives. He remarried again and had another family, but he was a shadow of the man he used to be. And me, I continued to support Malik, now a successful surgeon, always by his side, always proud. One day, Malik came home with an envelope in hand. "Ma," he said, "I bought us a house." I couldn't believe it. After all these years of hardship, of struggling just to get by, we had made it. We had a home of our own. Malik didn't stop there. He took care of me, took care of his future, and became a symbol of what happens when you fight for what's right. The boy Earl called defective became the very man who saved lives. If this story touched your heart, leave a like, and don't forget to comment. What time is it where you're watching this? And if you haven't subscribed yet, do so now. Every week I share new real stories that remind us of the power of love, resilience, and the human spirit. Thanks for watching, and remember, never let anyone define who you are.